It's 80s, baby. It's 80s. Hello, my gorgeous ones. Welcome to Alicia Budget Beauty. My name is Alicia, and I thank you so much for being here. If you're new, if you're returning, it's all the same to me. I'm just glad that you're here. So you guys, I want to just jump into today because I think it's really fun. I have fun things that I want to say. So if you are new, once a month, we do a random look. Well, a random word inspired look. And it's all because of the random beauty support group that I'm in. It's a group of, it's about 10 ladies. And once a month, someone is in charge of a random word that has been randomly generated, and they give us a little bit of direction and we just run with it. So this month's word was a decade. You can obviously tell what I went with, or if you just watched that intro just a minute ago. But you guys, this was so fun. So let me tell you how I got here real quick. So at first I thought I'm gonna do 90s because I love like 90s grunge. And then I thought, well, no, I did a 90s inspired Clueless look not that long ago on Instagram. Here's a picture of what that looked like. And then I thought, well, I don't wanna do the expected, which I think would be 80s. So I thought I'm just gonna do 70s minimalistic glam. Then I thought I've already done that with my Sophia Loren inspired look. Here's what that was. And then I thought, why am I denying like my roots? Okay, like I'm an 80s baby, I'm an 80s child. And so I just went with that. But I didn't want to do just anything random, you know, that, I don't know, I just didn't want to jump in and do neons and have like no direction. So when I Googled 80s makeup, what was kind of interesting and strange, it wasn't a lot of this actually. I mean, unless you're like a pop star, you know, or it's some kind of like mega glam shoot. It was more big hair, either fluffy eyebrows or the thinner eyebrows like I have right now from like the early 80s. And that's it. Like it wasn't a lot of colorful makeup actually. If you think back to all of the 80s movies that we love, think about Pretty in Pink. Why can't I think of any off the top of my head? But you know, think about the girls in there. They all have this big hair, but not a lot of makeup. So that wasn't giving me a lot of direction. And I was like, well, that's throwing me through a loop. So then I thought, wait a minute. Okay, I do love 80s music. I love Blondie with Debbie Harry is the singer of Blondie. Like Heart of Glass is one of my all-time favorite songs. And I loved the Midnight Sky song that Miley Cyrus came out that was very like Debbie Harry and Blondie inspired in her makeup. And so I looked that up, and sure enough, Miley Cyrus did do her makeup based all off of this one photo of Debbie Harry when she was out for a party, and it's iconic, it's classic, it's hopefully this. We'll see if you guys agree, but I decided to go with that instead. Here's a picture. I just want you guys to have a reference. And so I am going to just speed up the makeup process and then come back and tell you guys what I used, and y'all let me know if I succeeded or not. you saw the process, and now I'm gonna tell you guys what I used to create this look. So I'm not gonna really go over my base. I really could have done really anything that I wanted to with that. Although there wasn't a lot of bronzing back in the day, which is kind of weird for me. I'm used to bronzing. Like, it feels weird not to be really bronzed, but what they did instead and what Debbie Harry's look was in that picture was using blush more to contour it than bronzer. So first of all, I went in with the Mora Cosmetics Morning Sunshine, the ombre blushes. I knew that I wanted to use this blush because it's very, very pigmented, very vibrant, and I knew I could really build it up like mega blush if I wanted to. So I went in with the fluffy brush, and then I also went in with a Sigma contouring, supposed to be for a bronzer. Well, you can use it for whatever you want, but I used this to contour with the blush instead of a bronzer. And I also noticed in that picture that she was super glowy on a lot of the cheek instead of just the upper cheekbone. Like, her whole, this part of her cheek was very glowy. So one of my all-time favorite Megaglow, and that's what it's called, is the loose highlighting powder by Wet n Wild. Is I'm So Lit. You guys, I've seen a couple of people not like this highlighter. Let me tell you how to use it. You saw it kind of in the video, but if you take this highlighter, loose highlighter, and you dump it in the lid, don't just pick it up like this and put it on, because that's what people are like, oh, I don't know, it's not very like skin-like. I mean, look, it looks super skin-like, right? You have to really swirl it and like push it into the lid. And then when you go over your cheeks, it is like a glassy, beautiful highlight. It's one of my all-time favorite highlighters. Love it so much. So that is what I used to achieve this blush look. I also went much higher up into the temples because that was a blush trend in the 80s. And you could see that from the picture as well. So I went all the way up here, like super high on both sides. All right, next up, super important, was what palette am I gonna use for the eyes? I actually knew right away when I decided I wanted to do this look. I was like, I'm doing Moonspell 2 by Lunar Beauty. I love this palette, and these colors were like absolutely perfect for what I needed it for. So what was kind of interesting is I first went in with this Jillian right here because I thought it was more purple leaning, but when I put it on, it was more pink. And I wanted to do purple in the inner part of my lid because that's what was in the look. So I had to think on my toes, and I went ahead and added Macy, which looks really deep violet, but combined, it just turned into this pretty purple, kind of just a normal purple shade. And then I went in with Hilda right here and really used that to exaggerate the pink outside of the eye line up into the upper crease. And then I took Myrtle, which is a beautiful shimmery, like a blue tone shimmer, blue purple tone shimmer. And I put that on the lid because in some photos you can't tell that she has a shimmer, and then some you can. So I went in with that. And then on the lower lash line, I took a mix of Louise and Zelda right here. They're actually shimmer, but like a matte with a shimmer. So they were just fine to put on the lower lash. And I wanted to really kind of deepen that up and exaggerate that because you can tell in the picture it's kind of smudged. What was cool about it is I didn't have to be precise because she kind of looks like a hot mess in the picture, and I love that about it. So that is what I used on my eyes. And then I just went in with my liners, my Believe Beauty for the tight line. In the upper lash, I used the LA Girl Shockwave in Blackout because it's thicker, and I really wanted a thick lower lash liner because it looked more like smudgy in the picture. And then the NYX Epic Ink Liner on the top. Just did my regular mascara. These are what I use. Sky High and Essence Lash Princess. And then for the lips, I think I nailed these lips because that color was hard to tell. Like, is it pink? Is it red? Is it like a reddish pink? Is it a pinkish red? So I ended up going in with the Color Fetish Matte by Milani in Blossom. And then on top, because I knew this was like a corally deep pink, but then I thought, well, I need to kind of punch a little bit more red into it. And so I used the Hot Cherry Heat, the Gloss Bomb by Fenty. And that is it, you guys. She had tiny, tiny little silver hoops instead of what you would typically think out of 80s is like, you know, big old geometric looking earrings. And no, she just had little subtle silver hoops. And then I put on this little like halter pink because I was like, I might as well go for the whole look here. So you guys, that is it. This is my 80s inspired look. I think this is still really wearable. I mean, it is a blush trend right now, the 80s blush trend, but it doesn't look crazy. I think you could go out looking like this and not look crazy. So you guys let me know what you thought. Tell me if you think I achieved 80s, if you got the Blondie reference and all of that. And you guys go listen to Blondie today if you've never listened to it. Like, such good tunes. Love it. And you guys, as always, have fun shopping, budget shopping. Bye.